strong. Lift up his bottom hand and disrupt him from shooting or feeding the ball. Let's talk about takeaway checks now. The more aggressive checks that you would use in a game-like situation. I don't recommend you use this as a primary check, but checks that you would throw consistently throughout a game, but use them in game situations where you might be down by a goal and the coach needs you to get the ball back, or where you just get beat and you have to throw something just to try and stop them from scoring. When throwing these aggressive takeaway checks, it's very important to know where you are in the field at all times. Throwing takeaway checks is timing and knowing where you are in the field. You do not ever want to throw a takeaway check in front of the cage. If you throw a takeaway check in front of the cage, you have a very high chance of getting beat and they'll score in front. If you get beat behind the cage, you have a chance to recover. The first check I'm going to go over is a two-handed wrap check, okay? It's all about timing. You cannot throw constant checks in a row. Every time you throw a check, you lose a step. You have to remember that. Every time you throw a check, you lose a step, okay? No matter what check you might throw. So now I'm in a great defensive position. I'm at X right now. I'm in the back flats or I'm at X, and I'm timing the check, timing. I'm moving. I'm watching the offensive guy, and I'm going to throw a two-handed check. I'm going to keep both hands on my shaft. Once again, waist width apart. I'm here, and I'm going to keep both hands. I'm going to use the bottom hand as a power hand, top hand as my direction, and I'm here throwing a check just like that. Okay, I want to keep my right leg in front. If he's going left, I want to keep my right leg in front because if I miss it, I have a chance to recover and still be in front of my man. So let's see that again. I'm running, timing, throw a two-handed check, and then I recover. Now I'm going to demonstrate a two-handed wrap check. To go over the next aggressive check, it's going to be a one-handed wrap check. Similar to the two hands we did before, but now we're running. We're going to use this bottom hand as power to get momentum to the top of my head and throw a one-handed check just like that right around the offensive guy's body and bring it back right away. If you leave it here and you don't get it, the offensive guy could run through your stick and you're going to get beat. So once again, I'm in a good defensive stance. My top hand's here, my bottom hand, I'm going to use that to throw it forward. I'm here, I'm going to throw it and then get it back. The next takeaway check I'm going to go over is the over-the-head check. Just like any check, whether it's conservative or an aggressive check, you use one check to set up another check, and it's all about timing. Make sure you're constantly moving your feet, otherwise you're going to get beat, because every time you throw a check, you lose a step. Once again, every time you throw a check, you lose a step. So it's all about timing. So I'm in a good position here. I'm going to time my offensive guy's cradle, maybe throwing a back check, two-handed wrap check, and you're going to time the offensive guy's cradle. And now I'm here watching his timing, punch the sky, up and over his head, and then drag it down and get the ball from his stick. So once again, I'm going to time, maybe I'll throw a little check, a slap, a lift, and then once again, punch the sky, see when my timing's right, over his head, and rip it down. The next takeaway check we're going to go over is a Ticktock check. Once again, it's a fake over-the-head check like we went over before, and I'm going to fake over the head here and then just come down, rip a stick down. So as I'm moving my feet, fake over the head, come down. This next takeaway check is called a brain blaster. Okay, this check is set up by a two-handed wrap check. So as you're running with your opponent, you're here, you're throwing a wrap check, and now you fake the wrap and go over his head and bring it down, because most of the time he'll be hanging his stick. Another aggressive check we could throw is called the kayak check. A kayak check is set up by once again, an over-the-head check. You want to fake it over the head, check like this, and slide your top hand. You want to slide your top hand to the head of your shaft and your bottom hand up and throw your butt end across his chest. So once again, I'm going to fake over the head, slide my top hand up, bottom hand down, and come right across his chest. The next takeaway check I'm going to go over is called the butt dig. The butt dig is set up by a poke check. So as you're running with your opponent, timing his cradle once again, you're going to throw a poke, and then dig. Like you have a shovel, and you're going to dig dirt out of the ground. You're going to dig behind him, get that butt end, and lift up. Hey guys, just a quick overview on the aggressive takeaway checks we just went over. Once again, these are checks that you could use in certain situations.